Morning.
Morning, Alex. We're waiting on just a couple more board members.
You got it.
Thank you for joining us.
You bet.
And I like the Van Halen album up in the upper right corner of the screen.
There's that other one right there.
Oh yeah, the 1978, the first one. Arguably the best Van Halen album.
That was my first concert ever.
What
was it? One of the greatest first songs of an album ever, starting out with that bass line. Dong, dong.
Hold on, I got to ask Alex, your first concert, was that at, wasn't it the Cotton Bowl at the Texas Jam, was it?
Actually, I was in El Paso. I was living in El Paso at the time. And my sister's boyfriend wanted to go. She was not a Van Halen fan. I was, so I went with him.
Nice, very good. I've actually seen them 7 times. So back with David and of course with Sammy too. So that's nice to see those albums there. That's good.
Yeah, my son knows he gives them to me for my birthday. He gives me a new album every year now because he knows I'm such a big fan. So
awesome. Okay, well, good. That's good to know. All right. Well, that's the best way to start a board meeting right there. Anyway, thank you, Alex.
Just need a record player now.
And I just got a text message from Cecilia. We're live on YouTube. That's actually a good thing. So that way people can see that we have good taste in music, quality music right there. So thank you, Alex. Sonia, have we texted the other board members? Because right now, I believe we just have Mr. Blackwood and Mr. Flores.
Yes, I believe they were trying to log into the closed one, so they're logging into the open.
Okay, good, very good, thank you.
I accidentally tried to close one when I realized that I was on the wrong one, so.
And before we get started, I'll say, Alex, that actually was the best start to a board meeting I've ever had. We haven't officially started, but I bet you we're the only board meeting that started with discussion of Van Halen. So that was perfect.
Well, every meeting should be started that way.
Absolutely. In fact, maybe next time we can start it with Eruption or one of the Van Halen songs.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. It looks like we have a quorum. Sonia, was President Montemayor going to join us today?
He didn't reply.
What about Mr. Olson?
Mr. Gallagher, I know he's in Houston on business because I have a meeting later today, so I'm not sure.
Then I would suggest if Mr. Blackwood would like to start the meeting, since he's our board secretary. Mr. Blackwood?
Yeah, can do. Just trying to get to the agenda so I can make sure I read everything correctly. So give me just 1 second here real quick.
Sure, no problem.
It's coming up. There we go. All right, so the time is officially 9:05, and so we'll open at 9:05. And present at this point in time is, let me get back to my screen here real quick. I apologize. Myself, Alex Flores, Who else we have? Dr. Thompson and Melissa Myers. So at this point, the board will recess into closed meeting pursuant to Texas Open Meetings Act, Code Subchapter 551.072 and 551.074. The board and superintendent will discuss personnel and land.
Time, please.
And so we are at 9:06.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll see everyone over there.
Lisa, you and I'll just stay in here. Because we don't go to closed. You can turn your video off until they come back and just get
Okay.
work done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. And
Uh-huh.
the next question that I'm going to have is who can I meet with so I can get brought up to speed on how to, on this Mac and my, and Google and my calendar.
Okay. I will ask one of my digital facilitators to get with you today after
Okay.
cabinet. Will that
Okay.
work?
You
I'm gonna
would be
send a
just
text right now.
my best friend.
I got you covered, girl.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm looking forward to working with you.
You too.
Hey, Dan, did you open the meeting for us earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want to just continue?
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Sonia, are you on?
She should
Yes,
be.
I'm here.
Okay,
There we go.
9:08 open and 10:04 closed for closed.
I'm sorry.
9:08 was open and 10:04 was closed for closed.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do we have, let's see, myself, David, Monique, Melissa, and now, is Alex back on yet? There he is,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we will reopen the board reopens at 10:06. And so we have 2 items on the agenda to discuss. So we'll go ahead and send it back to Mr. Gallagher.
Well,
Oh,
citizen
yes, ma'am.
input. No,
Oh,
there's no
I apologize, citizen input. I apologize, my mistake. And so back to Mr. Gallagher.
All right, I'll actually call on Ashley Brown to, for both of these agenda items. So the first one, Ashley, is going to be the COVID relief days.
Yes, thank you. So we are bringing to the board today for consideration the 10 days of local emergency paid sick leave. So in light of COVID continuing, we would like to, last year we had a federal mandate from the government to provide 10 days. It expired in December of 2020, at which point Little Elm ISD, starting January 1st of 2021, we began offering local leave, and that ended in June of 2021. Now we are seeing that COVID is, going to continue to be a factor. And so we want to make sure that we're taking care of our staff. We want to make sure that we are minimizing the financial impact that they might have based on COVID absences. So we're bringing to the board for consideration 10 days of local emergency paid sick leave. There would be certain qualifying reasons. There's 4 qualifying reasons that our staff might be eligible for this leave. 1 being having a lab confirmed diagnosis of COVID-19. 2, caring for an immediate family member who has a lab confirmed diagnosis of COVID-19. 3, being having specific guidance from a medical provider that they need to quarantine for reasons related to COVID-19. And then 4, if they're caring for a child whose school or place of daycare is closed because of COVID-19. So those are the 4 qualifying reasons that we're proposing for our local emergency paid sick leave. Documentation would have to be submitted to the Human Resource Office to verify eligibility for the local EPSL. We would like for this to be retroactive. So we'd like for it to start July 1st, 2021, because we do have some staff cases of COVID that have already been diagnosed and we've received documentation of those. So July 1st, 2021 through this would end on June 30th of 2022. So with that, the administration recommends approval of the local emergency paid sick leave as submitted.
Dan, you're muted. I'm sorry.
And I just want to make
Sorry.
sure this is item B. So we,
Yes, this is item B. We did go out of order according to the agenda, correct?
okay.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
So move.
That's Mr. Flores. Do we have a second?
Second.
I think that was Ms. Myers was first in on that one. So, all right, so any discussion? No discussion?
Mr. Blackwood, I'm sorry, I neglected to mention just that
Yes.
that this approximate financial impact would be approximately $200,000, and that would be for the cost. We're estimating the cost of the substitutes for this.
Okay, so with that additional information, do we have any other questions or concerns? No? Okay, that being the case, if we can go ahead and vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I see Ms. Myers, David, Alex. I didn't.
I'm abstaining from vote due to the fact that I have a wife who works for the district.
Okay, and so all those opposed? No opposed? And I apologize, Dr. Thompson, you were in favor of, correct? Yes, okay. Sorry, you were not everyone, not all the board members are on my same screen, so I've got to I've got to kind of go back and forth. Okay, so we have 4 in favor and 1 abstention. All right, so item A on the agenda.
Yes, so we are also bringing to the board for consideration. We would like to, custodial positions have always been a hard to recruit and hard to retain position, and we currently have a number of custodial vacancies. So in order to address this position that is so very important to the success of our district, and really, especially in these times, we know that our custodial staff are working very, very hard. So for the custodians that we already have employed with us here in Little Elm ISD, we would like to propose a $1,000 retention stipend for those that are already employed with us. This would be on top of, in addition to the 3% retention roll-in that you guys approved back in July, and on top of the 2% of the midpoint raise that we've already had approved. So this would be in addition to that, again, to just recognize their extreme hard work and really to encourage them to remain to be employed here in our district. Then on top of that, for the positions that are vacant, we have several, again, vacant custodial positions. So we really want to increase the draw, increase the oomph to becoming a custodian here in Little Elm ISD. So we'd like to offer a $1,000 signing bonus or signing stipend for people who join our team as a custodian. And so we have a custodial staff of 65. So when we think about that 65 and we have $1,000 for each one of them, whether it's a retention $1,000 or a signing bonus $1,000, that comes to a grand total of $65,000 in terms of the financial impact. And so we really believe that with marketing and working with our communications team and HR and operations all working together with this additional bonus, we'll be able to fill some of those positions that are currently vacant while also showing appreciation and retaining those that we have, custodians that we have on staff. So with that, administration recommends that we approve a one-time $1,000 signing bonus for new custodial staff and a one-time retention stipend of $1,000 for current custodial staff. And just as a side, this will be paid in 2 separate installments, $500 in the fall and a $500 in the spring.
And what was the total dollar amount that we're projecting on that?
$65,000.
65. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right. Mr. Montemayor, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Flores, a second. All right. So any items for discussion? Any questions? I actually do have one that I would like to bring up to the board, and it may change the dollar amount a little bit, but as per Ms. Meyer's suggestion in closed, I was wondering if we could perhaps give a little bit of a additional for our existing members that have been with us for a while, and then maybe a little bit of a less for new hires. The numbers I just kind of crunched real quick would be if we bump that to $1,250 for existing members, that would be a total of $66,250. And then if we lower that to a $500 bonus for new members, that'd be $5,500. That would change the total amount to $71,750. So about $5,000 to $6,000 or almost $7,000 more than what the original proposal was for. I don't know if that's something we would consider doing, the board would consider doing, or do you just want to stay with the amount that was suggested?
Yeah, Mr. Blacko, I wouldn't lower the signing bonus.
No,
I would
okay.
keep it at 1,000 and for several reasons. One, because we've already communicated that this is live on Facebook, so I wouldn't lower it.
Okay.
But I'm not opposed to increasing it to $1,250.
Then if we did that and left it at the 11 or the 1,000 for the 11 new hires, that'd be a total of $77,250. So that would be right at about $12,250 more than what the original proposal was.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. And again, we certainly can do that.
That would be the only question I would have for the board, if anyone would have any objections to doing that.
So Dan, what was that new number that you?
$1,250 for existing, which
No, the
times
total?
$77,250. It
Shay,
would be
will you verify that number?
53
What I was
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say
that'd be
was,
50,
since we're
that'd be
just doing this
54. I
back of the napkin
apologize.
right now.
That'd be
Should we not-
54, not 53. I apologize. I'm off by 1.
Yeah, and I'll confirm that piece.
Well, what I'm saying is, since we're just doing this back of the napkin right now, we're not 100% sure.
Mhm.
Should we just maybe make the approval of up to 80,000? That way they can lock in the exact numbers and the allocation appropriately.
I have no objection to that, if no one else on the board has any objections. No, okay, so then the amended proposal would be a retention bonus for existing existing
Right.
environmental
So,
or
so it,
janitorial staff of $1,250, and the new hires would be a $1,000 signing bonus. Correct, okay. So all those in favor of the amended proposal? Aye.
Aye.
And we have 5 approvals, and there'd be none against. So the motion passes.
thank you, board.
All right, board members, thank you so much. I know all of our staff members will appreciate that very much. The 10 days, as well as our custodial services, who do so much for our students and teachers. So thank you all very, very much for being flexible and taking the time to meet today.
Thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So
I'm
moved.
sorry, Sonia, it's my first time. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm
Second.
sorry, who
All right.
made the first one?
It was me, Sonia, Alex.
Okay, and second?
Ms. Myers.
Okay.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5 ayes. All right. Then we adjourn at 10:16 p.m. or a.m. I'm sorry, not p.m. 10:16 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.